Let's go Dolphins! What if I told you that a single player, not Tua, not Tyreek, could be the key to our postseason chances? What if I told you that the coaching staff is considering a bold roster overhaul just weeks before the final game of the regular season? That's right. This isn't your typical Dolphins update. This is the kind of information that makes you question everything you thought you knew about this team. Before I explain everything, do me a small favor. If you're a diehard Dolphins fan, if you've ever yelled at the TV during a fourth quarter meltdown, or if you still believe this team can go far, click the like button right now and tell me in the comments, go Dolphins! It's not over yet, because, believe me, by the end of this video, you'll want your voice to be heard. Let's get into it. The biggest storyline right now? Achane. He left the game against the Jets with a rib injury after a 29-yard sprint that ended with him crashing onto the football. Fans held their breath, but the good news is, it's not serious. Mcdaniel confirmed he could have returned if it was an emergency, but with the Dolphins up by 3 scores, they played it safe. That's not just precaution, that's strategic confidence. And now, he's expected to be available for the must-win showdown on Monday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 15. Let me make this clear. This isn't just about having a star player back on the field. This is about having the most important player in your lineup for one of the most pivotal games of the season. If you think that's a stretch, consider this. There's an argument to be made that Achane is more crucial to the Dolphins' chances against Pittsburgh than even Tua. That's right. Let that settle for a second. Some insiders are boldly saying they'd take Achane over Tua for this particular matchup. Why? Because of what the Steelers can't do, stop the run. Pittsburgh's run defense has been abysmal. 2 straight games of allowing 200-plus rushing yards, something a Mike Tomlin team has never done in 3 consecutive outings. In fact, they ranked 21st in the NFL in rushing yards allowed per game, giving up 125 on average. Advanced stats paint an even uglier picture, 27th in EPA per rush, 27th in run stuff percentage. Their weakness is no secret, and Miami has the perfect weapon to exploit it. Achane is the X factor, and without him, Miami's chances plummet. This guy is having a monster season. He's 3rd in the NFL in rushing yards, trailing only James Cook and Jonathan Taylor. But here's the kicker. He's done it with 60 fewer carries than both of them. Let that sink in. Averaging 86 yards per game on the ground, 5.8 yards per carry, and over 100 scrimmage yards per game with 11 touchdowns. He's not just productive, he's explosive. The kind of player that doesn't just help an offense function, he defines it. And in the last 5 years of Dolphins football, we haven't seen a player carry this much offensive weight. Not Tyreek, not Waddle, not even Tua. This year, it's all Achane. And what about the backup plan? Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon looked solid against the Jets, but let's be honest, being serviceable against the Jets is one thing. Being game planned against by the Steelers defense without Achane is another. That could have been a disaster waiting to happen. The margin for error is razor thin, and Miami can't afford to rely on next man up in this specific scenario. But that's not all. Behind the scenes, there's another fascinating storyline that could impact the Dolphins' postseason push. Andrew Meyer is returning to practice. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Andrew who? But stay with me. Meyer hasn't played a single NFL game yet. A UDFA out of UT in 2024, he's been on IR since training camp. But here's the catch. He was not a practice squad guy. Meyer was on the 53-man roster last year. That tells you Miami sees something in him. Go back to camp reports. Barry Jackson, Omar Kelly, Travis Wingfield, they were all raving about Meyer before the injury. Multiple insiders labeled him as the best backup offensive lineman during camp. That's not just hype. And with injuries ravaging the offensive line all season, Meyer could quietly become a key reinforcement. His 21-day practice window opens Thursday, and he'll need to be activated by January 1st or he's done for the year. So who gets cut to make room? Well, the smart money's on Kendall Lamb. He's been inactive for games, while Larry Borom, who's shown he can handle himself, has taken the swing tackle duties. With Daniel Brunskill and now possibly Meyer available for interior depth, the math doesn't look good for Lamb. If the Dolphins make this move, it'll show a strategic shift, investing in versatility and depth as they prepare for a possible playoff run. And speaking of playoffs, here's where it gets dicey. Even after that win over the Jets, Miami's chances are still slim, less than 1%. But if they win out, that number jumps. This week alone saw the odds rise from 13.5% to 16%. It's tight. Every game counts. And even tonight's Eagles versus Chargers matchup could swing the Dolphins' odds by 12% depending on the result. That's how close the line is right now. Because when you look at what's ahead, there's no room for error. The Steelers, despite their defensive struggles, are still a well-coached, tough-nosed football team. Mike Tomlin isn't going to let his squad roll over at home, especially on Monday Night Football. That's primetime grit, and Pittsburgh feeds off that energy. But Miami has something they haven't had in recent years, explosiveness and versatility on both sides of the ball. And it all hinges on execution and health. Having Achane back on the field is going to change how the Steelers prepare. You stack the box to stop him? Mcdaniel will kill you with motion, play action, and deep shots to Tyreek and Waddle. You play it safe and keep 2 safeties high? Achane's going to rip off chunk plays until your defense is worn down. It's a lose-lose scenario when he's healthy, and that's why his presence alone forces opposing defenses into uncomfortable decisions. That kind of pressure has been missing from this team in big moments, but it's back now. Let's also talk about how the offensive line impacts all of this. Austin Jackson is back. That stabilizes the edge. Daniel Brunskill has quietly been a glue guy, swinging between backup roles and sixth-man duties. Jonah Savanaya has shown flashes of brilliance. Now add Andrew Meyer into the mix, a center with high upside and trust from the coaching staff. That's a dangerous, flexible group when healthy. And in December football, trenches win games. If Miami can run efficiently, protect Tua, and set up that play action, the blueprint to beating the Steelers is right there. And that leads us to the bigger picture. If the Dolphins beat Pittsburgh, they'll be right back in the thick of the playoff race. The math isn't glamorous, but it's doable. 10-7 with the right mix of tiebreakers could sneak them into the wild card. That's why every single detail matters right now. A healthy roster, clean execution, and yes, even help from other teams. That Eagles-Chargers game? Massive. If the Chargers lose and drop to 8-5, that's 3 AFC teams at the same record, giving Miami a stronger path if they win out. But this also puts pressure on the coaching staff. Mike Mcdaniel has proven he's one of the brightest offensive minds in football, but now's the time where in-game management, situational awareness, and adjustments become season-defining. This Steelers game will test everything: composure on the road, discipline in hostile environments, and the ability to stick to the game plan even when things get messy. Because Pittsburgh will make it ugly. That's what they do. The question is, can Miami respond with poise? Let's not forget, Tua is still under center. And while Achane might be the focal point of this week's game plan, Tua's ability to make the right reads, protect the football, and distribute it quickly will be just as important. He doesn't need to throw for 350 yards, but he can't afford turnovers. A clean, efficient game from him opens up everything. And this is a moment for him to show he can guide this team under pressure, not just in a shootout, but in a grinded-out, playoff-style football game on the road. Special teams, too, can't be overlooked. In games this close, field position, missed kicks, or a big return could swing everything. Jason Sanders has had some ups and downs, but he'll need to be money. No room for missed opportunities. So, Dolphins fans, as we inch closer to Monday Night Football, the energy around this team is different. There's a belief that wasn't there just a month ago. 4 straight wins have reignited that hope. But now we're entering the crucible. It's win or go home. And with the return of a game-changer like Devin Achane, the possible addition of a camp standout like Andrew Meyer, and the offensive line trending in the right direction, Miami's got the pieces. Now, they need the performance. If you've made it this far, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any updates. Smash that like button if you believe this team still has a shot. And right here on the screen, check out our other videos breaking down Dolphins film and player breakdowns. Go Dolphins, we're not done yet.